Welcome back. Today we're just going to do a little bit of cleanup, see what we missed with the last fight with Guildenstern, and then get a little bit into New Game Plus. With a debuff and without any sort of protective precautions, Last Ascension does hurt pretty badly. As mentioned, you can actually knock Guildenstern's second form out of his ultimate attack with a well-timed break art, and a lot of luck since you saw how unlikely it was to hit. Smacks him out, and he'll just go back to swaying side to side. This took a lot more effort than I thought it would, and it still ended up being somewhat disappointing to me. I think, even though I remember usually going and getting some stuff upgraded to Hoplite before, and this time I just had to go to a weak shield and an unrelated accessory. But anyway, without any sort of precautions, no Prostasia, no Heracles, there went about 250 hit points. And, as I mentioned, there is another attack that he didn't show in the original recording. This, by all rights, should have probably been on Nightmare's skill set. Nothing special, just a multi-hit elemental thing. Now, here's what happens when you go through New Game Plus. Basically, the changes begin here. As you can see, he's no longer equipped with a sword, he's equipped with the crossbow that I ended the first recording with. But for the hell of it, let's just show off some magic spells. While I do concede that they pack a punch, they're really just not worth it. You can't change equipment around in the prologue, so you are stuck with what you've got, which is obviously going to be far better than it is going to be with the original part of the game. Even Bare Fist would be better. And I can't remember if I mentioned it before, but between the two battles, you are fully healed. So let's give a try to Enlighten. Again, probably not going to see too much use of that, although it would probably help with Prostasia and let's try a Flame Sphere, since it is appropriately leveled. And don't quite have enough to reach the center of mass of his tail. But 5 targets will be plenty. Remember, he only has like 110 hit points. Complete and absolute overkill. Of course, these are not going to be particularly interesting, so I've made a little bit of an effort to do so. Not going to do any sort of buffs or debuffs, just going to punch the hell out of whatever I fight. Since I will need to eventually use fists 500 times, which I think I may already have had done, but I'm still also going to need to do the break arts and just make things interesting. Raging Bull's mama may have told him to knock me out, but it just ain't gonna happen. just for the hell of it, wanted to see just how close he is to death. Very close. Just for old time's sake, I decided to heal without purpose. And this jerk just did it again. So now it's time to heal again because I'm just going to have to waste my heal. And he's dead. Could probably edit this out too. I don't know. There's no point in taking these grimoires. No point in the shield. No point in the restoratives either, but what the hell. There is a reason to go through all the chests. I was so inclined I could have went and made a beeline to that chest, but no. I'll probably try and do that with Father Grissom's fight. Prostasia does no good against for Ashley without a weapon in his hands. In the original run, I was confused about this. For some reason, this flag did not trigger. Like most of the other ones, though, it's just a quick romp across a couple of rooms. And honestly, there's no risk at all of being locked out. Even with handicapping myself with just pure fists. Anyway, I apologize for the delay between this update and the previous one. Work, personal life, etc., etc. Not to mention getting distracted by the 4-job fiesta and the other little gimmick run Omni thread that Mega 64 ran. So, yeah, new break art, and also going to do this second playthrough is going to be dedicated towards %, of the map and treasure completion. Well, treasure chest completion. I'm unsure if I'm going to get the really good loot that requires luck and random number blessings to accomplish. That may wait for a later playthrough. But this is going to... That is why I went and got the Minotaur's chest, even though I really have no interest in caring about it. That, and I think maybe the event flag actually requires it to be unlocked for Sydney to show up, or at least go back there. Should have tried that out. And I definitely need to edit this part out. So yes, need to get stuff. I'm grabbing leather because it will be of use. Payback time, jackass. You have absolutely no idea how good that felt. The golem, luckily, since he is and he's built like stone and quite resistant to damage, but he is weak to blunt, so that does make punching still a viable option. We are fast approaching the point where defense will not permit that for much longer. And for real fun. Oh yes, that's right. Loot fusion does not work if you don't have enough of a weapon equipped, much like Prostasia doesn't help bare fists. So I just need to punch his crotch and his kneecap. Don't care. Remember the feast that Sydney got us? Let's drink deep of the dark. And let's just face tank a fire breath. Unfortunately, this is just not... This is the point where punching is no longer a viable option. So, time to bring out the preposterous weapons. Anyway, I'm debating what to do with the later playthroughs. There's the achievements that have to be done, and it takes at least 3 or 4 playthroughs to get all of the main ones. I'm either gonna do a much more abbreviated reel, or maybe show the actual playthrough of some of the other ones. One has to be done in under 10 hours, one has to be done without saving, and one has to be done without magic. And then no break arts, which really isn't that difficult because I barely ever use them anyway. And I think chain abilities too, which isn't that difficult. As you can see, Ashley is doing quite good at doing things without having to resort to chain abilities. The 10-hour limit and without saving is basically reasonable to do in the same run. I would strongly suggest not doing no magic and not saving just because there's harpies and things that can do irritating instant death attacks, and even though by the time you're going to get around to attempting it, you're going to have high intellect on its own, it's just not worth the risk. Notice how I actively avoided the trap, and notice how I didn't do it the time leaving. Yeah. Still got it. Tick-tock. Absolutely in no danger of dying, so why not just build up chain since I still need to do the Phantom Shield. Such a colossal disappointment that is. Seriously, don't ever use it in a dangerous situation. Useless. Let's just throw ourselves at the chain evasion until it sticks. Because really, there's no danger. And it's done. Flame Sphere, of course, still has its use since I have not maxed it out yet. And here's the ogre again. Again, I'm not particularly worried about throwing myself against chain evasion. Anyway, thank you, and see you next time.